Hello there. This is the astrology for November for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. It is quite a beautiful month with a gorgeous and fortunate water trine flooding your sky with potential increases in financial gain through your career path that you're on, opportunities for travel, and a kind of nice flow to their long-term committed love relationship if you are in one. Otherwise, it could bring you into a new relationship. Welcome, Virgo. This is your sky, and we're going to break it down week by week so you can time your best month. If ever you thought that timing your best life could be a useful tool, well, how about all of 2026? My video, 2 hour, 2.5 hour video forecast for your sign, plus a PDF guidebook is part of my yearly fundraiser. I do this every single October through to December, and I put these items out for sale. They're not on YouTube. If you'd like to get that bundle, it is in the pre-sale price of only $44, regular $66, and it'll never be this price again. This is me delivering the product to you December the 1st, because I'm in the middle of recording it as we speak, and it comes to your inbox as a PDF download with links to all of the private videos and PDFs. And then you can share that with friends and family. It's a great stocking stuffer, and it's a fantastic way for you to listen for Sun, Moon, and Rising. What's the sun sign? Your ideal, your core essential nature, and it often connects to your purpose and meaning and career. Your moon, how you feel about your life, but it's also your home, your nest, and you're listening for your rising. It's your simulation avatar in the matrix here. And so it kind of is a circumstantially accurate part of the sky. So let's go ahead and talk about the month ahead. And you can see my messy desktop, but we'll fix that and we'll get rolling on your sign. So as we start this month ahead, you're looking at the elephant in the room, and that is the South Node is still in your sign till next July. So I want you to think back to January of 25 and how you might have noticed, because eclipses are happening here, that you've been through a lot of intensity and perhaps a need to surrender, let go, let God, and to release parts of your identity or career or even home life for you Virgo moons, career for Virgo sun, letting it go, releasing it. It's no longer needed. It's time to part ways or surrender it. And that's the thing that's in the backdrop that has to be mentioned right off the bat, because all these eclipses are also shifting your long-term committed love relationship, either increasing it or solidifying it, or for some of you, bringing it to a closure. So that's the backdrop story. Now, the thing you might notice right away as we begin the month, and we're going to start in the week by week forecast format, is that as we start the month on November the 1st to November the 3rd, you're going to see a kind of, well, it's actually, let me clear this up. As the month begins, Jupiter is trining Saturn all month long, okay? And this is a beautiful energy because Jupiter is benefic and he's exalted and he's trining Saturn. This is extraordinarily positive for contractual agreements connected to career profitability. This is also extremely successful energy for your long-term committed love relationship, for expanding your social circles and social influence, but also for having a vibe of abundance or prosperity in the way that you interact with your social groups and friends, or the way in which you are able to derive profits and gains from your career. And it certainly is an expansive energy for your career. So no matter what you're doing right now in job, work, and career, as I record this for you in October, the gist of November is to take you up a notch and level you up to some higher level of success. And, with Mars at the bottom of your sky in the 3rd house, some of you might be changing your portfolio, your position, your actual job description, or maybe the place in which you work literally could change. But there's good news with all of this. It's good for your work. It's good for your relationship as well. So that continues to be true all month long because of retrogradation, Saturn and Neptune retrograde and direct. So they're holding that trine until the end of the month. And so you're going to enjoy that flowing, easy energy. Now, as we move into the next part of the story, this is really early on. Venus is squaring Jupiter. Two benefics in a square is nothing to be afraid of. It's like literally Halloween night, and then it's November 1st and 2nd. And these two are having until about November, day, I need to go by day. Yeah, so October 31st, November 1st, November 2nd, November 3rd. Now, this is like golden opportunity connected to work, career, and money. Otherwise, an elder sibling gives you a bunch of money, or you have an unexpected, really positive benefit coming from a friend who is like a benefactor. They give you a job tip, or they get you hired somewhere, or they are benefiting you on your pocketbook and your wallet and your finances. This is what this looks like. And this is a lovely day, Halloween into about the 3rd of November to say, yes, I'll receive this. I'm not going to argue with the sky. I'll take it. And even though it's a square, which is just kind of an intense energy, it's still positive, and it does flow. Jupiter does flow to the house of legal agreements and contractual agreements. So it just might be intense because all of a sudden you're thinking, oh my God, I have to sign on some kind of dotted line. I better get myself to it. If you're having to heal a chironic wound, for this is a T-square as well, it's a wound about how you have money from your spouse, shared resources, the in-laws, or inheritances, or investments, or loans and mortgages, woundedness in this other people's money that you partake in that's not your directly earned income. Borrowed money is included. Inheritance money is included. If you've had wounds here since 2018 when Chiron entered Aries, then you're going to be able to resolve those wounds in a very fortunate and very intense but beautiful way. Now, Jupiter is in his joy, and we call that a windfalls or pennies from heaven house. And I would be remiss if I didn't say you could maybe have a windfall. So I don't know where it would come from, but some kind of surge of financial wellness, a sort of windfall vibe could definitely be going on in this story. So with Mars getting ready to slide into your 4th house, this could also indicate legacy wealth, money coming through an inheritance from somebody up your family line or through your in-laws and your husband or wife's family line, alrighty, in the month of November. On November the 4th, Mars will come into a really intense opposition to Uranus as he crosses out of Scorpio and into Sag. Before we talk about this story, let's mention that Mars was in Scorpio, your 3rd house, having a good time since September 22nd, leaving on November the 5th. That kind of indicates that perhaps you are really driving hard to, like, this is like, I'm working out at the gym every day. I'm exercising. I'm passionately pursuing my social media and my work, and I'm commuting a lot or something like that, making decisions about these things, and maybe even some excitement going on in the life of a sibling when younger. But now Mars is out of the 3rd house and he's moved you into a new story. He's talking about the 4th house. This is where I got the legacy wealth concern. Sometimes Mars down here with, activation of your 8th house of inheritances might look like the possibility of a very an injured or an accident or sudden passing of somebody on your family system, or your partner's side of the family as well, if you have a partner, and money may be on the way to you as a result of this. But because Mars is opposite Uranus, and this is like the 4th, 5th, like the 5th, 6th, 7th, there's a surprise. It's not expected. It's out of the blue. And it could involve a father figure. Mercury rules your 10th house of father figures. So if there's a father figure in your life, an ailing grandparent or aged parent, father figure, make your, what do you call it, type your loose ends. You never know. This could be that kind of story. And otherwise, you might have a sudden unexpected shocking news about your career or your home, including with the sextile to Pluto, like the landlord is going to give you a discount on the rent, or you're going to be able to get a new opportunity to rent a different place, and you're absolutely jazzed about it. And it comes out of the blue and it's so exciting. Pluto is in a rental place. And there's an exciting possibility of moving, because with Mars here, all the way through from his entry on November 4th, 5th to December 15th. For a lot of people, this can look like a move. It can also look like domestic arguments, so be careful for that. But a lot of people would see this as a relocation or a home construction project. Take your pick during that longer transit. As we move into the next story, you're going to notice that we have a full moon on November the 5th. You can see it right up here. And it's at 13 degrees when it's exact, and it's exalted. What did you plant 6 months ago regarding foreign travel, foreign lands, spirituality, higher education, book publishing deals, legal and court matters? What seeds did you maybe plant there or were planted there 6 months earlier, fulfilling themselves on November 5th and over the 6 months that follows. If any of you thought you might want to go like to school or educate yourself, back to school, Jupiter says yes, it can be very profitable in the long run for you to re-educate yourself, because that's the 9th house. Otherwise, there's maybe some beautiful opportunities to travel with friends, connected to friends, or with your mother. And it's so funny because my daughter is a Virgo rising. She's begging me to take her on a trip to Australia. I swear that full moon in the 6 months that follows will have me on a plane with my daughter, Virgo daughter, to Australia. So that's a beautiful moon. Look in the 2 weeks that follow for evidence of what it might be offering you. And it can play out, of course, much longer than that, up to 6 months later. The second week we're going to talk about, the 7th to the 14th, is mostly, well, let's go through it individually. From about the 7th to the 9th, Venus is having a difficult challenge with Pluto. And that energy is Venus leaving Libra and moving into Scorpio, a sign of her detriment. And she will be in the sign of Scorpio, by the way, through till December 1st. So we already see that she's moving away from blessing your resources, your money, your possessions, your dietary style. Now she's busy working in difficult circumstances like the Scorpio, swamp or something, to bring you good things in the 3rd house. That would be travel, short distance, and communications, and writing and marketing and selling, and your digital media landscape, and your everyday environment, your daily life environment, neighborhood, neighbors. Now Venus here moves into your 3rd house and immediately gets into an argument with Pluto. So we'll say like the 7th, 8th, and 9th. The power of love, the love of power. What's going on here? Conflicts between things going on with your neighborhood, your neighbors, some of your childhood friends, or your the sort of the daily routines that you have, in conflict with something going on in the workspace. Okay, so it could even be travel opportunities are showing up, but there's a power struggle with your boss or the work environment because you really aren't, free to travel. There's too much else going on, like obligations and duties. There's just some stress here, and you're going to feel it like having to speak truly about what it is you want. She rules your house of speech. So having to speak more truly about what you really want in a circumstance that's not ideal. And it could be a disagreement as well with somebody important to you, like a childhood friend, a neighbor, and it could be a real breaking away from a pattern in that relationship. Really pay attention to that possibility. Saturn rules that Pluto, and he's in your marriage house. So I would extend that to a very difficult conflict between your work and, say, a travel opportunity with a spouse, and the agendas aren't matching very well, for example. Now, next we also have on November 7th, the retrograde ingress of Uranus into your Taurus house up here. And this is because Uranus was only testing the waters in July, early this year, seeing what he could do to really radically shift your career and reputation trajectory. But now he has to go back and finish up stuff in Taurus, where he has been traveling since May of 2018. And this is his last gasp. He'll be done here April 29th next year. It's like, are you literally going to do something for a grand finale? I did a video on this. It's already out. Check it on my channel for your sign. But it is a grand finale of erratic, exciting changes in legal matters, higher education, foreign land visas, passports, travel, connections to book publishing and publishing deals. And because he's up here for a grand finale, it's something that has to be finished. You didn't finish what you started here. The universe is giving you the last chance. He does sextile Neptune. It can involve things to do with your spouse or long-term partner. For some of you, it could look like a possible opportunity to move to another country or spend a significant time in another country, and maybe connected to a long-term love partner or a friend. And, it could involve a desire to actually get a visa or a digital nomad visa or some kind of distant location possibilities. And I bring that up because Mercury right now with Mars in the 4th house, as this ingress happens, suggests there's some changes you want to make to where you live. Okay. Whether it's domestic change or abroad, I don't know, but there's some big energy here for you. All right. So when we move to November the 11th, Jupiter will turn retrograde. This is not a negative thing, but it is a different thing. So Jupiter has been moving forward, and then on November 11th, sometime during that day, he will head retrograde. and he'll retrograde back to 15 degrees of Cancer. So I'd say like 14 to 26 degree Cancer, sun, moon, and Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. It flows to you in a beautiful way. He's going back in the house of friends, long range plans and dreams and goals and career gains. So you could have a situation where friends from the past who are very good for you, or a sibling one older, Jupiter in the house of the elder sibling, he is in the house of his joy, are going to be coming back from the past. On the other hand, opportunities from the past for professional advancement, especially in salary, are coming back from the past again. If they've been in the ether, it's kind of happening, but now it's returning to you. Also, with Jupiter here, you could win something like a windfall, a lucky break. He is trining Saturn, Lord of the lottery house. So you and a significant other, or just you in general, may come into some financial windfall. That's one way this could show up. But as he goes retrograde, he's kind of going inward. Like, he doesn't want necessarily to shout to the high hills about success. He wants you to find what's deep and true within yourself, what's actually deeply, truly how you wish to live your life, because this is wish fulfillment. This is where you want to have the vision for your life and let Jupiter guide you. And he's only here once every 12 years. And so this is an important time. And you can look to other people, and there will be other people, coming your way, like allies, benefactors, an elder sibling who wants to help you, to really open up some possibilities for you to have a vision come true, a dream come true for your life. Lastly, if you don't want to be pregnant and you're a female who could get pregnant, or even a male with a female partner, Jupiter witnesses the house of fertility and he rules the house of relationships. So being pregnant or getting pregnant, all Jupiter would mean is keeping it low key and not telling the world for the first trimester. Jupiter will be retrograding through till March 11th and then going forward again through to early July. So you've got some inward motion here for sure. Okay, so as we move forward into the story, you'll notice that as we cross over into around November 11th to the 13th, Mars and Mercury are going to bump into each other, literally. And this is because Mercury has been moving through Sag as the month began, got to the 6th degree on November 10th, and then decided to turn around retrograde. So on November 19th, 18th, 19th, Mercury will be back here in Scorpio. So he's trying to get something going to do with changing your home, renovating your home, constructing a new home, making major decisions about home, maybe things connected to, again, legacy, wealth, and inheritances. And then he goes forward and then he says, I'm going back. So you only have him in Sag for a short time until the 19th of the month. But as he's heading backwards, he crashes headlong into Mars. And this will be a moment of time around November, I'd say 11th to the 13th, where you're going to have to make a major choice point, action, or decision. Information and news is coming through. It can connect to inheritances, legacy wealth, changes of home, mortgages, refinancing, things to do with banks and loans and home and property. And because he's still Mercury and Mars in a sextile to Pluto, it could be very good for debt elimination and financial restructuring as well. And maybe in this kind of sky, you could also make decisions around changing your home. And all Mercury is the contractual agreements, November 12th or something like that. And you might be signing on it. But I'd say with Mercury here, it's going to be like, you're going to have to read the fine print. Mercury is in Sagittarius, doesn't see the fine print. Do not sign away until you have a really keen fine print look at what you're signing when it comes to real estate deals of any sort, or contractual rental property agreements or anything like that. Literally, you might not see it. You want to move to a new neighborhood. Well, Venus is, exiled in Scorpio, and you probably find yourself feeling lonely. It's too far away from where you really want to be. It's a wrong neighborhood. Be careful about neighborhood and home changes around November 12th. Take some time to think about it and really look at what you've got in front of you. Okay. Now, we're going to head to the 14th to the 21st. We're going to talk about that sky. Sun is trining Jupiter on the 15th to the 17th. Golden opportunity is calling you when this happens. So Sun is shining in your third house. This is like, okay, my neighborhood, my neighbors, my childhood friends, my skills-based learning, my writing, communicating, my house of the local environment, digital local and real local. And here we have the sun and opportunity, Jupiter, golden opportunity, and it's about your career. I don't know what it is. It could be a raise, a promotion. It could be a new opportunity, a new job opportunity. It's going to increase your wealth. The sun wants you to succeed here. In likelihood, it would come through also emails, phone calls, and texts. That's the third house. And there might be some very lucky circumstance hitting a sibling, one younger and one older than you as well. And it's a story that involves them as well as you, or separate from you even. And as this is happening, the moon is with you in your sign, and the moon can bring material manifestation of something that you desire, because the moon is managing Jupiter, that you really want to have happen in your career. So it's a golden opportunity / dream come true career opportunity of some sort. Otherwise, it's just a beautiful opportunity to socialize with a friend who's female in the neighborhood. And that's the most simple version of that. And you can just say, well, I really enjoyed this social time, or to take a trip with a romantic getaway with a spouse, or a short distance trip with a girlfriend. And that would be, again, I'm giving you the dates of November 11th to the 13th. Funny enough, my Virgo rising girlfriend, November 15th to the 17th, will be traveling with me in Mexico at the time. Now, we also can note that as this is happening, Saturn is enjoying the ride. So it's also really sweetening the pot for your marriage. If you're in a significant relationship, it does support a strengthening of your primary long-term love relationship. If you're single, if you're traveling, you might have an opportunity to meet somebody who's destined and fated, then bringing in a new soul connection and fated partnership to you through travel. So the 15th to the 17th. On November the 17th, Mercury and Pluto are in a formation that's positive. It's called a sextile. So it's because Mercury is moving backwards, as I said, and he crosses back into Scorpio around the 19th, 18th, 19th, time zone dependent. And then he, just before he gets there, just here on the 18th, he talks to Pluto and he says, are we ready to consolidate some powerful change in my work, my career, my home, my rental property agreements, and my pets? And if anybody's been thinking of getting a pet and they don't have one right now, certainly Mercury and Pluto are that. But this would be more like we're going to put a down payment with a breeder or something, or order when you get in touch with the rescue mission from Chihuahua land, because Mercury's retrograde. He has to come back and fulfill this later on. So keep that in mind. It's not a one and done, you'll have to wait till later on when he comes back to your fourth house after December the 12th for any real animal to land on your doorstep. But the proceedings, the paperwork might be underway at this time. All right. And also you might notice that as he moves into this part of your chart, and he'll be here until December the 12th, what he's doing is he's connecting with this active zone of inquiry and a new moon. So the new Scorpio moon is going to be on the 19th, is at 28 degrees when it's exact, and Mercury is watching over it. This is indicating that this new moon can bring commercially successful endeavors to do with marketing, selling, writing, communicating. It could be about buying tickets for some important travel opportunity. It could also be with Venus, something to do with friendships and women, and new plans are being made, and they could involve also business plans. And as Mercury is here retrograding into this part of the sky, the new moon in Scorpio is here. This new moon is very positive for you because it is flowing to the north node in the marriage house. And for some of you, there could be some positive developments connected to your long-term love story that strengthen it. It could include up leveling to like moving in together, deciding to find a home together, buy a home together, move to a new home together, get married, proposals, weddings, stuff like that. This vibe could happen here. The new moon is attended by Venus and she's not in her dignity. So there's a bit of a challenge with it. So be cautious too. Yet at the same time, she's just doing what she does. She tries to bring something good. End of story. And Jupiter's flowing to her, making sure it works out. When I say she's not in dignity, it'd be like, look more for look below the surface of the situation to make sure it's really going to satisfy you, whatever this thing is that I tried to describe. Do you really want to move in with your partner? Do you really want to get engaged? What is this that you might not really want, but it's being presented to you? Alrighty. On November 19th, Mercury Neptune means you're super psychic, but it's also Mercury Neptune, an ideal time to have a realization around what your serious, sober-minded appraisal is of long-term committed love, whether or not you are in a relationship. And Mercury is retrograde, so your thoughts are going back to the past, to other relationships you've had, and you're looking at patterns, and you're looking at how maybe you've been deluding yourself, or you had rose-colored glasses about long-term relationship, and now you're seeing, what you need to see, understand what your mind is grasping about those relationships, where you've had a kind of a default setting for not the most positive outcomes. And you're actually able to do some healing with this, if you ask me, because Mars is the ruler of this house and the house where this is happening. And if you're doing any healing, you're healing things from childhood. Childhood wounds can heal the way you approach love. Even if you're single or with someone, it's looking like a beautiful reframe. If you're single, you can meet somebody on a trip because you're traveling far away from home. And that's another way that may play out around November the 19th. And it could be a dreamy soulmate union coming your way. November the destined as well. November the 20th, the Sun and Mercury join in a cazimi. I'll be doing a free webinar on that. Check my description box below. It's going to be on November 19th while I'm in Mexico. And this is a new beginning, headquarters, divine reset button. Something is happening. And this new energy, this reset energy is right here. And it's asking if you want to have some new beginning in the neighborhood zone of the chart, the daily experiences, the hood, your relationship to siblings, and a reset button. Look for news or information coming to you that day, November 20th. If you're thinking of changing your home, like renting a different property, you might get the acceptance letter. You might find out a potential rental opportunity exists. You might have some news, emails, phone calls from aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, and nephews, and siblings coming across the transom on November 20th. Now, a cazimi like this is really good for spiritual stuff and divine imagination and manifesting and listening to the voice of God. And so I would suggest, because of this cazimi's intensity, opposite Uranus and trining Neptune and trining Jupiter, it's really a kite energetically, that there's something that really wants to take off in your life. And this is a really good webinar for you to attend. Now, moving onward, the whole very last week of the month is interesting. You're going to notice that there's a triangle that just persists and persists. And this is a grand water trine, which is meant to be fortune, especially with Jupiter and dignity. And this water trine, first of all, on November 21st, it's really being like November 22 to 20, 21 to 20, sorry, November 20th to 21, the sun is really playing a strong role and, waking up this triangle. Good for travel, good for career gains, good for windfalls, good for pennies from heaven, good for your marriage, good for travel, good for learning, good for friendship and local environments and travel, all of that. And then it happens to keep going. It doesn't stop. And then sun moves on, shines a light in the fourth house to inspect the home, so to speak, with Mars, the inspector. But then look, Mercury's now playing a primary role at 25 degrees. This is phone calls, text messages, and emails regarding everything I've been talking about. Career gains, spousal relationship, long-term love, meeting the new person. This could be your first dates, getting ready to form. And Mercury is going to crash backwards and conjunct Venus here at 23 degrees of Scorpio on November 25th, still holding this beautiful triangle in place. So certainly, especially with the moon in your fifth house, there could be a new romance that's trying to blossom here. You're getting your Hinge and Tinder responses, or you're finding someone's opening up the door for a first date, or you bump into somebody by traveling or learning and you feel the attraction and communication, and there's something going on. There's conversation going on about this relationship that's new. If you're in a relationship, there's a very important conversations going on to consolidate the current relationship vis-a-vis land, property, home, move, and cohabitation. Whether you're separating or coming together, those conversations are critical at this time. Venus does rule your assets and resources second house. And then we see that Venus will trine Jupiter. This is really around the 26th, 27th. Jupiter's trying to help her in the swamp of Scorpio and telling her it's all going to work out. People have your back. Friends, allies, and benefactors are here to help you. And you're just really lucky. So it's all going to be fine, whatever this is that needs to be fine. And then we finish up with a surprise because Venus is going to oppose Uranus. And you're going to feel this energy building up on the 29th and 30th. Kaboom. An unexpected, surprising development connected to visas, passports, foreign lands, higher education, legal and court matters, a sibling too older than you, matters connected to long distance travel, and higher education. I think I covered it all. Ninth house stories. Venus is bringing your attention to it from the third house. These are both travel houses. And it could be an unexpected travel opportunity or disruption because it can be both. I can't tell you what Uranus is going to bring. I definitely would say that there is a beautiful sextile to Neptune and Saturn, and it involves a significant other in your life as well. And for example, it could be their travel opportunity. It could be their situation that we're seeing, not yours. And it's out of the blue, right? They get some opportunity here. Jupiter, he's a ruler of your fourth house and he's witnessing this. So it could be an unexpected, surprising, sudden opportunity to relocate your home, but it is connected to a significant relationship person, most likely as well. Or unexpected developments in legal contracts regarding siblings or neighborhood or move to a new home. Now, I forgot to do this for the other two signs. I just recorded. I apologize. I'm going to get blasted in the comments, but I was drawing a quick card draw for everybody from the Animal Spirit Guidebook by Kim Kranz. Why the heck not? And let's see what we get here for you. This is about how Turtle. That's so cool, Turtle. This is how you should approach the whole month, right? How are you going to deal with it? How are you going to approach it, Turtle? Okay. And we're going to grab Turtle. Turtle is, I think, an Earth card. And it's don't worry, guys. There's just no way I can go fast on this. Why? I could pause the recording because she doesn't have a table of contents. I'll tell you. Turtle. Ancient soul, grounded, trusting, at home in the self. There's a lot of Mars in the house of home, and you might be feeling a little destabilized around the home. All right, when you're in balance, you are peaceful, adventurous, and productive in the month ahead. And if you are out of balance, you slow down to a halt. So you got some inertia. And to bring yourself into balance, you need to have an adventure. You've got a lot of travel energy coming up for you this month ahead. So think of the balm of adventure being a part of the story for you. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to check out my All Signs bundle sale, $44. Never see that price again. It's regularly $66. Is a pre-sale delivered to your inbox on December the 1st. Ciao, everybody. Links in the description box below.